Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, Holiday Inn Express, the Ocean City Golf Club, Comfort Inn, Russell Street Report, the original Green Turtle, and hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
In April 1959, Art Wall won the Masters, edging out Carey Middlecoff and Arnold Palmer by finishing birdie, 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 par birdie. 1 month later, Ocean City Golf Club celebrated the opening of their first 18 holes. That course has been transformed now into one of the most scenic golf layouts on the East Coast. Come experience 36 of the most beautiful and challenging holes you'll find anywhere. Ocean City Golf Club in Ocean City, Maryland.
Come see us at Blue Ox.
And welcome back. It is the original Green Turtles Ravens Wrap show here on Comcast Beach TV and Delmarva's Rock Radio, home of the Ravens 93.5 The Beach. From the Ravens Room, broadcasting here at the Blue Ox with Ravensers 44. Give yourselves a hand again. Great turnout, as always. And hey, you do not have to be a member of Ravensers 44 to come on down to the show. We tape it every Wednesday here, so we would love to have you down. If you're a Ravens fan in Worcester, Wycomico, Sussex, wherever, it doesn't matter. If you're down, we'd love to have you, so please come to the show. And we're making it more than worth your while. Not only are we giving away an authentic Nike Ravens jersey after every show, we're also giving you raffle tickets, and we're drawing a winner for Ravens tickets. In fact, we're drawing the winner tonight for the Ravens game upcoming against the Cowboys on the, I believe, 14th. That is a hot ticket item. So we're not only giving away a free jersey, but also your chance at winning Ravens tickets, courtesy of our friends at jctickets.net. So come on down to the Ravens Wrap show right here at the Blue Ox, Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. All right, back with us, of course, Bruce Laird, former Baltimore Colt, all-pro safety, Steve Slaza from Ravensers 44. As we're kind of talking a little bit, this is Bruce's first show here in 2012, kind of recapping the quarter pole of the season, 4 games through. Talked about the secondary a little bit and the pass rush to defensive line, which not getting pass rush, Terrell Suggs has a lot to do with that. Let's also talk a little bit about the linebackers, some new guys in place this year. Albert McClellan, a guy that's kind of come out of nowhere, and also, of course, Courtney Upshaw, Paul Kruger, who was supposed to be a starter, kind of got hurt, and now he's a situational guy. But talk to us about the front seven.
Well, I mean, I think the amazing thing that the Ravens wanted to do when they were able, unfortunately, for money, not able to keep Jared Johnson, they wanted Kruger to believe that he could be a third, he could be an everyday down player, which means on first and second down, you must recognize run pass, and from there, from mentally, to get into to lanes and then protect the edges. In the 4 games that you saw, in the first 3, wasn't capable of it, and of course, a lot of people, he nicknamed him Velcro. I mean, you know what Velcro does. It sticks. Well, when you're a defensive player, when you engage, it's engage, rip, and get away. And Paul just has not been able to get involved in that, not only with blockers, but rushing the passer. Again, once you engage, it's engage, rip, get away, because you cannot be blocked. And he's struggling with that. And I think what you saw in the last game they played against Cleveland, he was not an every down back. He came in like he was before. 3rd down long, go fetch. And that's going to hurt this football team because Upshaw's not ready yet, and that's going to be a work in progress. Let's see where this young man goes, but I think that's going to be the key. How fast can Upshaw get up to speed, and how fast not only can he play run pass, but how can he develop his passing techniques to get to the passer? Right now, he has neither of those. He's showing some progress, but he's got a long way to go.
I thought Upshaw was making steps. I mean, on that wide receiver screen where, he went out and tackled wide receiver, you're not expecting a guy who's 270 pounds to run down a wideout. And, the other play against Philadelphia, where he dove into the line and caught the guy from behind. I mean, he's coming, but it's like you're saying, he really didn't have training camp, so he's definitely covering ground.
And folks, when we talk about maintaining that edge, of course, you don't want the run plays to bounce to the outside. You want to maintain that edge and force it to the inside where you've got lots of help, and that's something that Paul Kruger struggled with. But also, too, with Kruger, Bruce, the lack of a pass rush. I mean, yeah, now he's kind of a situational pass rusher to speak of, but in the preseason, he didn't get much pressure, and so far, he's not as well. So that's an area of concern. Again, I don't think anybody directly was going to take over for Terrell Suggs. One person was going to make up the production. Got to be by committee, but that hasn't quite happened either.
No, it doesn't. And again, in this league, you saw what happened to the New York Giants last year when they got hot towards the end. Well, they got hot because that front four just was able to dominate. And no offensive front could basically block those front four. That's 5 blocking 4 consistently. And when you can do that, think about what you can do. You got a Julio Jones in Atlanta. You double him. You can take all the things. You can take what teams like away. And that's what defenses do. If you're running the football, if you're a good running football team, here's what you work on all week, folks. Stop the run. I cannot have 2nd and 4, 2nd and 7. It must all be stuff the run. 1st and 10, you cannot run the football against you. Because if that's what they like to do, you got to take it away from them. So the same thing with what the Ravens are doing now. They're trying to find their identity defensively with the 7 that they have up front. And I think, again, it will be a work in progress.
We talk about the defensive line a little bit. I think guys are still finding themselves. A guy that is still very inconsistent. I think Terrence Cody. I will say I think the Ravens' run defense is starting to get better after that Week 1 against Cincinnati, against New England, against Philadelphia, against Cleveland. They did a good job all in all, and now they're 13th against the rush. So that number's come up. We talk about the passing defense, which we thought would be the strong point of this team. It's kind of wavered from time to time. But that D-line, Steve, I'm wondering where Terrence Cody is. And we know Haloti Ngata is playing well, but he's getting supplanted by, what, a 34, 36-year-old who was out of football last year and weighed over 400 pounds at one point.
Well, how lucky are we that we came up with Maki Kimiatu? I mean, that was just an unbelievable pickup for us. Same thing, I lost 70 pounds to be able, and was out of football, to be able to do it. But, we look around, guys like Corey Redding, guys like McKinney, that we didn't think we were going to miss that one. And JJ, I mean, you've lost, 4 pretty substantial players on the defense that you really didn't take into consideration. So, I mean, we were definitely a work in progress. But, I said at the beginning of the year, this year's team, we're going to have to outscore people to start. Eventually, by the midpoint, the defense will catch up.
And remember, thank God for Haloti Ngata, because the pressure in the NFL now, you always hear from the edges. Which is your defensive edge, whichever that is, linebackers or even on our nickel package when Webb comes. Yeah. It's from the edges. But as you see it, and you don't push the middle of the field, you don't push the 5 through 6 hole right in there, that gut, the quarterback steps up, there's no one there, he's got the lane. So we have to continue that. Haloti Ngata can continue to do that. But that's the key. You go off the edge, force the quarterback up, and then the pressure. That's why when we miss Sam Adams and Rob Burnett in the day, when Rob would move from end to tackle, and you see that 7-man rotation, we had Webby, the other defensive lineman. You saw that, and that consistency of how you attack the quarterback. And again, it's not always sacks. It's moving him at the right time. And again, understanding when we're dogging, when we're sending 6, someone's got to get him to move. Because I can't play my job knowing I got to believe in 3 seconds those guys are going to get there. And I got to believe that because that's how I have to play. If I'm worried about it, then you're going to get with a Kerry Williams situation. You're off too deep. You're not aggressive enough. You just got to believe when we're sending it, you got to get there because I'm playing that the quarterback's off the spot or the ball's in the air in 3 seconds.
Yeah, quarterback's worst pressure is coming up the middle. I know that better than anybody. I mean, not having played NFL, but just in high school and college, that's the worst pressure right up the middle. Question for you guys as we flip over the offensive end a little bit. Do you think that Ozzy's going to change his approach when drafting defensive tackles? We seem to draft guys, a lot of run stoppers, but we need some tackles, some ends who can get after the passer and maybe aren't as good in stopping the run.
You know what? That's the freak that you want. Look at Sam Adams. Remember Sam Adams? We had Sam Adams here. Big burly guy, quick as a cat off the football. I mean, his first 3 or 4 steps, and made that penetration, was able to do that, and a smart enough player. I mean, that's an animal that's hard to find. I mean, you need someone.
Although the Giants have found several. They
Yeah,
got like
I mean,
6 or 7.
You can move it
Philadelphia's
around.
got 6.
And when you find it, because as I mentioned before, the pressure comes from the edges. Quarterback steps up. That's when the gut pressure has to be. So when you find those guys, that's why Haloti Ngata is worth a lot of money.
I would throw it back to you. Don't you think with the multi-front defenses that we run, that for us to find a defensive tackle, like you're saying, they could bump out and play in, those players are hard to find. It's hard to find a guy who's just defensive tackle, but a guy who's a hybrid, D tackle, DN, outside linebacker.
No, you're absolutely right. And that's why Rob Burnett, towards the end of his career, was so very valuable, because he was a defensive end. But then as he progressed, he could move inside. And then you do tackle end games and then tackle games. You do all that stuff, and you're going to see more of Ray Lewis coming in from the guts inside the 5 and 6 hole. Okay, inside the tackles is what I'm trying to say here. So you're going to see that, because Ray Lewis right now, after 17 years, and I played up till I was 36 years old. Let me tell you, I don't care if you lose 1 million pounds and you're a Jenny Craig and you're dancing at 37. You're not what you were at 32. And if you make it from that 28 to 32-year-old that some of these wonderful players do, that is the prime of your career. From there, you're going downhill. It is what it is. I mean, I can't change it. Mother Nature.
But you have guys like Upshaw and McPhee who were penciled in to take people's spots, and then they got hurt, and end up being scoped, or end up having a shoulder injury. So now they're further behind the curve. So I mean, really, you've got two ends that really haven't come in and.
Yeah, I mean, McPhee right now he's got to bring it up a little bit. And again, with Upshaw, because he had very little training camp, he came in totally out of shape. I don't know what happened. I guess the big contract, but Alabama. And that's just not an Alabama kid. But then again, you got Terrence Cody, double cheeseburger. Double cheeseburger better start slimming down to a fish fillet.
On the positive end of things, I think this team defensively can get better. They've got the players to get better. I mean, Ed Reed is playing. I tell you, tackle-wise, he's starting to tackle like he used to back in the day. Maybe because it's a contract year, I don't know. But he's got 2 interceptions. Yeah, he wags, but he's still a Hall of Famer. All in all, I think the defense still can get better. We talk.
Let me tell you something. If this defense does not progress, I think John will have a hard time, John Harbaugh will have a hard time bringing this football team to his 5th consecutive playoff. Because this defense, and I think everybody knows it at the Castle, this defense must progress. Okay? The offense have got to stay where they are and get a little bit better, make some bigger plays every once in a while. Understand they got to score 28 points or more on average for this team to really continue to go. Defensively, absolutely. Week in, week out, a little better. And I'm talking about everybody. And everybody play a little better.
Go ahead.
We're also starting to get some players stepping up. I mean, Kerry Williams, definitely. I thought that interception made his year. I don't know why he turned down $5 million a year. I would have taken that one in a heartbeat. But anyway, Upshaw is starting to come on. And a guy like Ellerby. I mean, Ellerby is basically beating out, the other inside linebacker and McLean. And, he's really playing well, and he's all over the field.
And we're back with more coming up next on the Ravens Wrap Show.
Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, Holiday Inn Express, the Ocean City Golf Club, Comfort Inn, Russell Street Report, the original Green Turtle, and hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
Welcome to the Comfort Inn Gold Coast. Conveniently located just 1 block from the beach and adjacent to shopping at the Gold Coast Mall and the movie theater. Newly renovated and open year-round with a marvelous bayfront view. Visit us on the web at comfortgoldcoast.com and see our hot deals and great golf packages, or simply call our direct reservation line to plan your stay.